Digital physics is the idea that our universe is fundamentally a programmed information system, making it much like a virtual reality. The idea explains many aspects of quantum mechanics that otherwise seem quite bizarre. It also explains how there could be supernatural phenomenon while providing a mechanism for biblical creation. All aspects of quantum mechanics that make it seem weird only do so when you look at the world from a materialistic perspective. Looking at it instead as a programmed information system makes sense of it. For example, Planck length and Planck time are units of space and time beneath which it is impossible to measure anything. That makes space and time effectively pixelated like you would have in a video game. Furthermore, the behavior of subatomic particles changes depending on the availability of information about them. For example, particles of matter exhibit both particle-like as well as wave-like properties. These wave-like properties are connected to the probability of certain properties of the particles. If you pass particles such as electrons or photons one at a time through a system with more than one path, how the particles behave is affected by the information available about the particles. If there is no information about which path the particle takes, it takes both paths and interferes with itself as a wave, producing an interference pattern. If, on the other hand, information exists as to which path it took, it only follows one path and does not produce an interference pattern. This is precisely expected if reality is fundamentally a programmed information system. It is completely counterintuitive to the idea that particles are actually little balls of stuff. If indeed reality is fundamentally a programmed information system, then it is easy to see how miracles and other supernatural phenomena are possible. On the contrary, if one looks at reality from a purely materialistic perspective, it is easy to conclude that such things are impossible. This is because if reality is a programmed information system, then miracles and other supernatural phenomena could easily be the result of alterations in that information in a manner different from the normal programming. One way of looking at it would be the equivalency of a cheat code in a video game. This is not a perfect analogy, but it provides an illustration that anyone who has played video games is likely to understand. It is not undermining God's power, but simply provides a mechanism by which such actions are possible. After all, the amount of informational manipulation necessary would be humongous and beyond any human programmer. If indeed reality is fundamentally a programmed information system, then creation was ultimately the process of setting up the program and putting everything in place. Once again, it provides a mechanism that does not undermine the sheer power of divine creation simply because of the huge scale and detail necessary for it to work. The scale of a program necessary to produce reality as we encounter it is beyond anything that could ever be written by human programmers on any kind of physical computer. In conclusion, the idea of digital physics not only explains hard-to-understand things such as quantum mechanics, but it opens the door to a scientific understanding of things such as miracles, including biblical creation. This concept is easy to come to as a way of understanding quantum mechanics, and it leads to a mechanism for miracles, and specifically biblical creation.